thought I'd come and talk to you today about what we're doing with AI. And the reason I wanted to talk to you about AI is it's a bit of an existential moment in an agency's life, in that I think Nishan asked earlier, do I need an agency or do I need a marketer? Do I need AI? Well, I'm kind of the point of view that, I'm kind of the point of view that agencies will have to drastically change in the next 2 to 3 years. Many of the functions that we do are automating a rate of knots that is, if we don't kind of ride that wave, agencies, the whole landscape of agencies is going to change. So I wanted to talk to you about what, as an agency, we are doing in terms of AI, how we're working it not only from a point of view of the agency, but also from a point of view of the clients as well. So, but before we get into that, just a quick one about who we are. So we're an agency, we're predominantly in India, we're about 80-20 type thing, 80% local market, 20% overseas. We run across communication, media, technology, so we build stuff, we promote stuff, we talk about stuff, so we're doing all of those bits and pieces, and we work with a lot of different clients in India. But I thought I'd let myself talk to you first, okay?
Hi friends, and thank you DATAMATIXX for allowing me to talk to everyone about AI, or should I say, मैं बस वो इंसान हूँ जो तुम्हारे और पार्टी के बीच आया है, तो presentation short और full on मस्त रखते हैं यार.
Right, so I don't speak Hindi, I'm afraid, but apparently that guy does. So the thing about AI is we can do all sorts of things with it. We can take a person, replicate that person, we can get that person to call you up and have a full conversation with you, sell you a product fully through AI. That is kind of where the world is going. So the world is changing in quite a strange way. And I've been playing around, right, because clients want to see my face to meetings, and it's physically impossible to be in 100 places at the same time. So what if I had an AI that just gets onto Skype and just does the communication out there directly? It's a bit of a joke, but actually that's the way the world is going, right? So a little bit about the avatars. We had this day at the office the other day where we had a green screen. Every single one of our employees, we filmed them, and then we've created avatars of all of them. Right, and the idea here is if you go to the main AI platforms that are out there today, most of the avatars are actually European, US centric. But now we've got Malus, we've got people from the north, from the south, we've got all sorts of ethnicities, and we can build all sorts of content out here, be it educational content, how-to videos, it could be guides, it could be a CEO internal comms, it could be comms to your advisors, and this can all be done through the power of AI. All we have to do is create the scripts, upload them, and off we go. We can create that content and do it at scale. So we're talking with some of our, for example, our insurance partners, where they have huge distribution networks of lots of people, where we can go and create local content in a local language to train those distributors and put out content, and we can do that frequently, quickly, at a very economical price. The interesting thing here is if we use our employee, we're doing a revenue share with the employee. So if we've sold the creative, we'll give the money to the employee whose face we put into the creative. But just one example. AI has also revolutionized the way we've done our media. So we're now using agents to help us plan, to help us do the buying, to help us do the optimization. So on-the-fly creatives getting built on the fly. Funnel optimization, so I did a brand communication, how did that lead into the middle, how did that lead to the bottom? Can the AI then do a determination of what is better for branding, for mid-funnel, bottom funnel? And how do we do things like predictive lead scoring? If we're running ABM programs, how do we run that more effectively? And then obviously the whole reporting aspect of that. So reports for us is not just a nice dashboard to say, here's your numbers. The reporting is now telling us, here's your problem. Here's the thing that you need to push. Here's the thing that you need to stop. So we have automated dashboards to actually tell our people what they need to do on a daily basis. So they come in the morning, it's like, oh, these 5 things you need to look at because there's something not right here. And we can also put predictive pieces on top of that to sort of say, probably it's this, this, or this. So when they're going in, it's not just they're being told there's a problem, they're being given a general direction as to what to look at for that problem statement. Okay? So AI is enabling us to do a lot more with a lot less. So one guy potentially could handle 5x, 10x more accounts by being enabled through AI, which was kind of what happened with the sessions that was there earlier. The other side of it is creative production. So we've been playing around with creatives and the systems for a long time. We did a joint venture with Capgemini. This was back in 2023. And we basically created an entire book. It was a global document where everything was AI generative. Another example here was Nova, where we've actually just taken the product and we've placed them into situations. So the actual rims that you're getting there are all actual Nova rims, taking the CAD files, and then AI represented them into the things. This was an interesting campaign because we did this globally, and directly after this campaign, Luxottica, which is a very huge brand, they came and bought Nova, which was a local Indian brand. But the fact was, is all of the renderings of the lenses and things like that getting done through AI. Other examples of this is storyboarding, but also dynamic creatives, okay? So the image on the left, kind of a simple storyboard, which automatically gets converted into a high visual type output. The interesting thing here, we did some work with one of our partners who do bikes, and we figured that certain bike people have different affinities to different things. Some people might be dog lovers, some people might be coffee lovers, some people might be going to play football. So if we know those segments, what happens is all of a sudden the bike gets a dog on it, the bike gets a coffee on it, the bike gets a football on it. We can render the bike in sequence with the audience that you're going after, and then pull that out in scale. So you're not doing sort of thousands of renditions and taking huge amounts of time on it. You're actually building thousands of renditions at scale, but using AI. Just another example. So we got a brief literally at midday for one of our clients. So I'm just going to quickly show you this. So this is what happens in agency life. Client rings you up, it says, it's Republic Day, give me a creative. And it's like, oh God, you could have told me last week, right? But the thing out here is we have a bank of all of their products. We gave the AI the products, the AI then rendered the imagery. All our creative guy had to think about was the copy that went on top. Honestly, the AI probably could have come up with a copy as well, but just for that human sort of component, the initial sort of storyboarding was done from the copywriter. But the point out here is the speed at which we were able to render a creative and put it out was almost 2 hours from the phone call to getting it out, and we're able to do, and the client was happy with the kind of outputs that we were doing. Not to mention we're getting the products into it. Other sort of things is things like reactive ads, data-driven ads. So based on where I am, what's the price going to be? Based upon the cricket scores, what's the price going to be? Like, or having contextual messages coming into creatives. So again, having much more data-driven type plays out there. Now this is a personal favorite of mine. This is a lady that we have created. She's fully AI generative. What this lady is wearing on the left is Max Fashion's dress. What this lady is eating on the right is Chinese wok. We have the same lady doing many, many, many things on lots of different creatives for our clients. We're actually going to make this lady, or a similar lady, automatically go and autonomously go onto Instagram and travel the world posting pics. And we've also going to create an autonomous agent which does auto-responding, so having a chatbot at the back end. So if you talk to the lady, she will talk back to you on Instagram. Right? And so you will think that you're talking to a person when actually you're talking to an AI. The idea out here is we want to build AI's influencers that we can then basically productize off the back of. This is an experiment work in progress, but the point is we're actually doing creative work already using a model which is not actually a real person, it's just an AI that we go. I just have one question. Can you tell it's AI generated or not? Now that I've told you it's AI, you're probably all like, yeah. But actually, I was like, oh, okay, fine, I can't actually tell. Especially on a phone that big, it becomes very difficult to tell this reality or not, okay? So just other sorts of bits and pieces. So this is an interesting one. So we've built a system which sits on top of your data. It takes all your data in as a company, takes all your PDFs in, takes all your product files, everything like that, and then it basically builds a generative AI response on the top of your website. So you can talk to your website, and it can tell you what this is, what that is, what product's there, where to go, what to do, and it's all in a generative AI response mechanism. It's very similar to your Geminis or your Perplexities and all of that, but it's all based on your own product data. Then on the back end of that, we've created an analytics solution which basically looks at what people are chatting about, what they're looking for, whether or not we have the content or not, and then gives us suggestions on how to build new content, how to optimize our pages, how to optimize our content or our product offering even, based upon the conversation that's happening with the website directly. So it gives you also like a suggestion engine per se as to what you could do. So this is where the world is going. I think someone was talking about agents earlier. Again, it was Nishant, I think. I honestly believe agents are going to become part and parcel of our lives. They're enablers of the business. And if you look, this is just an example of one autonomous agent, but this is an agent that's currently tweeting. So what it does, it goes off, it finds information about health, it generates a tweet, and it tweets. If other people are talking about tweets, it retweets the tweets, and it talks to them. So it's autonomously blogging, autonomously tweeting. This is the same thing that we're building within Instagram, but the point out here is you can build a system to automatically do something, and then you can then spin that into lots of different realms as we go. So I'm just going to show you a quick workflow that we built, and this is operational, it's fully functional. So. Just to give you a kind of quick surmise of what that's just done, we put in a keyword, it went to Google, got the top 4 results, it crawled the top 4 results, got all the information of the top 4 results, made an analysis to which one, what they had and what we had, and then break it down to say, look, these are the things you're missing, these are the things that you've got, this is the tonality, this is the language, this is why they're ranking, so to speak. It then goes and builds a page on the fly of what your page should look like and creates a page for you. Now, we've built a secondary agent that sits on top of this that pings AI detection systems. And then what that does is it says, well, your page is 100% AI, jolly good. So we rewrite the page and we keep pinging the AI system until we get below 30%. So we've now got a page fully built, which is optimized basis to the competitors, which is now non-AI detectable. We then take that, we run a flesh score over it. We then take that, we run a compliance engine over it. So we can make it fully compliant to the client. We have a fact checker as well to fact check all the information, which then pushes the content to a CMS to publish the content. So what happens is, with one click of a button, a page is generated, which is pushed to the CMS, and it just needs a brand to come in and go, okay. Right? And when they press OK, what that does is it pushes it off and publishes the page. We put a very similar system which can generate automated videos or podcasts off the same content. So it can create the video, create the podcast, again, publish directly to a CMS and
India's
run it.
logistics
so
sector
just a
is
quick
booming.
example of that. But
Valued
all the
at
imagery,
900
all the
crores in
assets,
20
everything like that gets auto-generated. So what I'm trying to talk about is the agents themselves. You just need the thought process to get from A to B, and then you're building the system in order to connect all the dots together to run it through. So just some of the agents that we've built. SEO auditing agent just goes in, it checks all your tags, checks all your meta, checks the core web vitals, comes back with, if you have core web vital issues, you can load into the agent your tech stack and it will tell you exactly how to fix it from a coding standpoint. So you can go back to the developer and say, hey, these 5 things you need to fix, here's where the problems are with the code. A blog video creator, so I take a blog, it automatically generates a video off the back of it. Autonomous social agent, so autonomously socially doing output on Twitter or places like that. Translation, so I just take a page, translate it into 14 languages directly. LLM auditor, so this is the big one. We've built a system which basically looks at all the different LLMs, has looked at all of the training data for the LLMs, and we then audit your page basis that LLM. So can I get into DeepSeek? Can I get into ChatGPT? They all have different ways of operating, so we've basically built a solution to audit a page from an LLM standpoint to then push into it. So lots of different types of things, be it a brand guideline, building custom automation systems. So whether, I don't know, I'm creating a contract, I need certain data inputs, and then I've got those inputs, and then the contract gets pushed out the other end. Compliance agents to check if things are compliant, checking things, an insight to action agents. So do I have an insight to make an action? So lots of different types of things, and this is just the tip of an iceberg. And so the bit that I feel that the agency is going to have to get into is not only being able to think from a marketing standpoint, but we're going to need to understand that agents are coming. Agents are going to start taking the menial roles away, almost to the point where you might have to just sit there on a beach, press a button, and everything's done. And that's where I'd love to be, is on a beach pressing a button. But we're a little bit away from there yet, but that's where the world is kind of heading to. So yeah, that's that.